Hi, John. Hi, Autumn.
Hi, good afternoon, Kate.
Oh, I see Mark is going in the waiting room. Let me let him in. Hi, Mark.
Hello.
All right. Hi. Get my video going too. Here we go.
Hello.
Hi. So it's saying that John is connecting to audio.
And then I think Autumn should be there.
Yeah. And let's see.
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, Autumn.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, John.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm going to use the next 2 minutes to eat. So
Okay. Don't worry.
sorry about that.
Don't worry. That looks great. It sounds great.
I'll be back.
Okay. Okay, I'm just pulling up my tracking for this and let's see. We've got a yes from Alex. She'll be here soon, I'm sure. We've got a yes from the administrator at St. Anne's. We did not get a response back from the DON or Karina, but I think is Karina maybe out of town right now? And
Karina is just coming back from vacation. They have 2 annual surveys going on in several buildings, a lot of issues. So she's not going to be able to join. Hopefully Mitzi can. The DON is not going to be available.
Okay. Oh, is this the facility that was getting their survey? Or I guess is a lot of people getting their survey today?
I'm not really sure about that,
Okay,
Kate.
okay, then don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But yes, and we've got a yes from Ricardo as well. So, so yeah, so I anticipate that we'll get a couple of more people hopping on here shortly. Oh, and we've got Alex coming in the waiting room. Here we go. Okay, I think there we go. There's Alex. Hi, Alex.
Hello, hello. So I just want to apologize in advance because my internet has been spotty all day today. And I am right next to my router.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's the weather or I have no clue. So I apologize if all of a sudden I disappear.
That's totally fine. And if it helps, like the bandwidth, I know sometimes if you turn the camera off, sometimes the bandwidth works better. So if you need to turn the camera off, by all means, just do whatever you need to do to make it work on your end.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Rick. I'm Kate. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So I'm the administrator of the WisCaregivers program.
Okay, well, great. Well, thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah. So we've got John Vandermeer on the line. He is from the corporate office of Champion Care, which the Bay at St. Anne's is a part of. This Champion Care company, and so
Hey, everyone.
Hi, John. And then we've got the administrator from the Bay at St. Anne's set to join.
Okay, great.
So yeah, and basically today we're just hoping to kind of get the ball rolling, have everybody meet each other, figure out who the point of contact is, and that just kind of get the ball rolling stuff. Hopefully nothing too intense.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Oh, and here we go. I think this is the administrator. There we go. Okay. There we go. Hi. Is this the administrator at the Bay at St. Anne's? Joining the call? I see admin user, but I don't see a name. So I just want to make sure that we've got the right person on the call. And
Kate, I'm texting Jenny Juarez. She indicated that she can't hear. Maybe she's just trying to figure out yeah, she's connecting to audio. So
okay.
it's going to take a minute here.
Okay. So Jenny Juarez. Okay. Great.
Yeah. Jenny, can
I'll
we
just-
just do a mic check with you? Make sure that we can actually hear you. If you can hear us, you unmute yourself. So I just texted Jenny to see if she can unmute.
Okay.
She's trying.
Okay. Sorry, Jenny. I know this stuff can be stressful. So.
She can hear us though. That's
Okay.
so we this is productive. We're moving. We have communication coming one way. We're just trying to get it the other way.
Okay.
Providing this narrative commentary and the blow by blow.
Yes. I'll update Jenny's name so that we see her name when she's talking and stuff. So I'll just change the name to Jenny.
Yeah.
Jenny.
This narrative isn't quite as exciting as, you know, the March Madness color commentary that's going to be coming up later this week. So
Yes. Well,
just
get your
giving you guys
practice in
a little
now.
prime, a little bit of an opportunity to know what's coming.
Okay, great. So how do I spell Juarez?
Oh, Jenny does not have a microphone.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna put it as Jenny. Jenny at St. Anne's.
Yeah,
Okay, there we go.
that's good.
There we go. All right. Well, you know, as long as Jenny can hear us, then at least we can get the ball rolling in terms of what we're doing agenda-wise today. We have just three main things we want to hit, which the first is just a rundown from the FSET team at Maximus about what sort of resources the folks at the Bay at St. Anne's can anticipate for their WisCaregivers. And then the second item we want to cover is the referral process. So how best to go about referring folks from the Maximus caseload over to the Bay at St. Anne's, like who the contact person at St. Anne's should be. And then also the reverse referral process. So when you have an incumbent worker who's interested in upskilling to be a CNA at St. Anne's, or a new applicant who comes into your, your applicant portal online or word of mouth or however you get your applicants for CNA, how best to go about referring those folks over to Maximus so that they can do the eligibility screening the way they normally do their process and, get those folks in the FSET caseload so that they can also receive all the great supportive services and everything that Maximus has. So those are main three goals for the hour. Does anybody have anything that they would also like to cover while we're, while we meet today? No, we're good. Okay. Well
Those
then,
are the main issue areas.
okay, great. Oh, here's Jenny. I can be the point of contact at the Bay at St. Anne's. Okay, good. So that's a good first thing. Do you guys want to just get that kind of out of the way first of who's going to be the point of contact? So Jenny will be the point of contact. And Jenny, we're also looking for folks like with our original pilot that started at the Bay at Oconto. The person that we had connected with over there was somebody in HR who was coordinating the CNA hiring process. I know it's different in every building on who does what, but in terms of like enrollment, as long as that person has access to that, like the details in the HR file, so like their date of birth, their social security number, that sort of thing. So when you send me the enrollment form, you've got all that. So yeah, so if you've got bandwidth to have that be you, then by all means we'll go in that direction. You know, and we can
Jenny,
always update it as we go along.
Just because Jenny can't necessarily comment on this specifically because of technological issues, as far as that's concerned. I mean, just to ask a more pointed question, Jenny, is there, I don't know if you want to include somebody like the business office manager as, you know, an additional supplemental point of contact as well. Totally your call, but just, you know, wanted to make sure that if there's going to be somebody that's filling out the paperwork, liaising with, you know, the FSET agency, you know, if there's a way that we can help you facilitate that, please let us know.
Okay. All right, great. So Alex and your team, do you want to kind of take the ball in terms of what sort of, I know each FSET has their own kind of program offerings and things like that. So just take it away in terms of kind of how you guys approach this sort of help for new hires.
Sure. So what FSET would be able to do when it comes to individuals who are already at St. Anne's and they're interested in receiving the support from FSET while they're going through training. So I can be that point of contact. So Jenny can reach out to me with the email that provides the name of the person interested, if they're receiving benefits or not. So if they're receiving food share benefits, I can look them up by their name and a date of birth just to confirm that that's them. I can generate the referral, have one of our case managers reach out to them, and then enroll them. And then for the employment plan, we can just put the training, the time frame of the training, and whatever supportive services are needed for the program or for them to be successful in the program, we can provide that. So when it comes to childcare, uniforms, transportation, really anything that you can think of that they may need, if it falls under the guideline of DHS for us to be approved to provide that a supportive service to them, we can definitely do that. To make the process faster, if we could just have a breakdown of what you provide with that training. And so then if there's things that are required that you don't provide them during training, then we can put in the request for that supportive service right away. So once training does start, they'll already have everything and they'll be set and ready to go. For participants that are interested from our end, so if they're already enrolled in FSET and they're interested in this training, partaking into the pilot, what I can do is I can reach out to Jenny, let her know this individual is interested. To make that easier, if we could just have a breakdown of you know, what are the pre-qualifications in order to be eligible or possibly take part in the training. So highest level of education. We do not conduct background checks, so I'm assuming that Jenny and the St. Anne's crew will be doing all of that when it comes to the background. But just anything that we would be able to filter for them to make the process easier, that breakdown would be great for us. And another way that we can make things maybe a bit easier is just to have a standardized form that will go between Jenny and myself. So whatever information that they need, we can provide it. And then I don't know if we'll need a release of information for that participant autumn. But if we do, we can already have that form digitalized so that we can also have that available.
Great. I know that at the Bay at Oconto, they sent the application form that the CNAs fill out to the FSET provider up there. And then I believe that the FSET provider was helping the CNA applicant, the WisCaregiver, complete the application. So that might be something that could help. When you were talking about like a form kind of thing, was that kind of what you're thinking, like an application form or something like that?
Right, so if there is an application process, if they already have their set form, we can definitely use that just to stay within the same process, just across the board. I believe it's easier for us to adapt to St. Anne's and the process versus, changing it from site to site. So, yeah, you can give us the form. We can definitely work with the form. If they need any other things to go with that, so if it's a resume or something in the guidelines of if it's kind of the process of applying for employment, we can get Ricardo and his business service unit on board to assist those participants also with the process.
Right. So Jenny, I saw that there was a 262 number. Oh, and here Mitzi's in the waiting room. I'm gonna let her in now. So the person who joined with 262, just want to say welcome. And do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
That's my phone number. This is Jenny.
Oh, great.
I'm on the Zoom, but I also use my phone, so if I needed to speak, I didn't have to use the chat box. So I do have it.
Perfect. Okay, great. I will rename your phone number to say Jenny's phone, so that we know who's.
On both,
Okay.
so I can study and then listen and talk too.
Perfect. So does what Alex said, does that sound okay to you? Like, do you have any like an application form, or what would be your preference in terms of how the referrals from Maximus to St. Anne's would work? Do you want them to do it online? Do you have a form?
We do have a recruiting company that I think they work out of Indeed, but we also, during the application or, if you guys send us a referral, I guess we can set up an interview with them using your guys' forms, and then when they come in, we can have them fill out ours. That'd probably be the easiest.
Okay, if that's your preferred process, how does that sound to you, Alex?
Sure, that's good. So Jenny, on the form, obviously, you want their name and their contact information. Is there anything else that you need? Is it just a name, email, and phone number? Is that sufficient enough, or?
That would be sufficient enough for, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And you don't need like a resume or anything like that?
I mean, if they have one that they'd like to share, that would be great too.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just make a note, if resume available, optional,
Yeah.
Optional preferred, optional, or just straight optional?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Optional. And then in terms of the background check, I know up north, they are doing like a preliminary, like not running like a formal background check, but basically just having that conversation with the interested applicants so that they know of the different restrictions involved in this line of work in terms of background. Are you guys familiar with all those, or do you want the folks from Champion to kind of run through that with the background stuff?
Yeah, I think that we can do the preliminary and get the information from them, and then I can have them fill out one if we want to move forward with employment.
Okay, because yeah, they could even, I mean, at least, I don't know, with Maximus, you guys do like some pre-screening for folks so that, anybody who shows up at the door of St. Anne's has already been kind of talked to about, these are the type of things in your background that might make you unsuccessful, just so that you've got a narrower pool of applicants that have basically been pre-screened.
Yes,
Oh.
we do, Kate. On our end, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut someone off. We do run through like a pre-screening as well. We share the criminal offenses that are barred from the healthcare field with all our participants, no matter what training healthcare program they go into. So they have to have some idea going in, this is a concern for you. You may not be eligible for training based on your background. So we do have those initial conversations.
Perfect. That's great. Yeah, that's okay. So then I'll make a little note of that too, is that like, these are conversations that are happening before, people get to the door. Now, in our original pilot, we found in one case that sometimes it doesn't always work perfectly. So just Jenny, so it's an initial conversation, but not like a full-on background check. So we're hoping that the people that get to your door are able to follow through all the way to the end of the training completion and the background check and everything. But, you never know exactly, but the effort is being made. And if it's a problem, like if they're, if we're seeing a lot of folks that come through the door and then are not able to get trained due to background check, like, let's just be in communication about that. And then we can revisit it if there's an issue.
Okay, sounds good.
Great. Okay, so
And
then.
And
go ahead.
Kate, yeah, so I just wanted to mention something to Autumn. I sent we went over this issue this morning. Really appreciate the fact that you go over the list of excluded individuals and entities. That's really helpful. Wisconsin obviously has a criminal background check form. That's a standardized form that should be used. And then also we've also heard issues relative to the sex offender registry as well. So I sent all of those links in an email that I also shared with the Forwards Service Corporation, the FSET agency in the North, about this. Kate, if you think it's appropriate, you might want to just forward that to Autumn, so she has those resources too.
Great. Yeah, I will. I'll put that on my follow-up list. Okay, so send Autumn, and I'll send it to you too, Alex, and then maybe from there, just as you see fit. So Autumn and Alex forward info. Okay, great. So great. So any questions? So did Jenny, did you get kind of a sense of the resources? Any questions about, do you have any issues or resources in particular that your folks at St. Anne's need that they could use help with?
My DON, she's worked with this program before, so I think she'll be one that I can talk to about it as well. But I think I got the general idea of how things are working, and if I definitely have questions, I can be in contact.
Great. Okay, so we've got the point of contact. So Jenny will be the point of contact on the St. Anne side. Alex will be the point of contact on the Maximus side. We know what information needs to be sent to do the referrals from Champion Care to Maximus, and then from Maximus to Champion Care, just sending the name, the email, and the phone. If they've got a resume, great. If not, no big deal. Just send the name, email, and phone to Jenny. And then Jenny will get the ball rolling to who should contact that individual to set up an interview. Does that sound correct?
Yeah, that does.
Okay, great. So now, Mark, you had mentioned when we talked last week that people were really interested in CNA training, and that, even just this month that you had heard from, was it 16 people who wanted to move forward? So how do we get those people to Jenny?
I think what we do, we can generate the list of referrals that are coming in and see first if they want to refer for the program. Would that be okay, Adam? Is that good? Alex, Autumn?
I was on mute.
If-
I'm sorry, Jenny, were you talking?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, internally, we can work that out to see persons who are interested in CNA training and get that over to Alex. so we can see if anyone may qualify for the WIS Careers program, the pilot program, to get you some viable applicants.
Great. And also, just so you know, we can offer these training slots to any folks that you may be working with at Maximus. So even if they might not be eligible for FSET, but maybe like a W-2 or some other program that you might be working with, like I know sometimes you have different caseloads for different programs. And so if you've got anybody you're working with is eligible to participate in the program, regardless of if they have FSET. If they have FSET, all the better. But you know, if you've got other folks that are interested, you know, feel free to also include them.
Yeah, we can do W2 as well. Same idea, right? Correct?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Anybody, any member of the public who wants to work at St. Anne's is welcome to go and be in WisCaregiver, use this training funding, FSET, W2, anybody. And also, Jenny, so that you know, if you've got folks that are maybe working in another department in your building, so like in laundry or housekeeping or wherever, front desk, if anybody is interested in upskilling to become a CNA, their training can get paid for under this program, and their testing and everything as well. So that's another source of applicants for this program too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we would want to take a look at their, you know, if they're incumbent workers, meaning that they're there and they're upskilling for another job, we definitely want to get them attached to our WIOA Adult and Dislocated Worker Program, because we can then offer the same level of support in terms of you know, transportation or any other needs that they might have, childcare as well, just to make sure that, you know, there's no hindrance to their upskilling.
Great. So, I feel like we've got, does anybody have any questions so far? I feel like we're just getting through our agenda really quick. So any questions from anybody? Anything I can do to help make this work better?
Did we ever receive information on how many slots would be open for the participants for this pilot program?
Oh yeah, so I've got funding for 500 CNAs to be trained, and it's all first come in, first serve. So I guess, Jenny, with your current need for CNAs, do you know about how many you'd want to take on if in an ideal world?
I would have to speak with Danny, our director of nursing. Right now, we're really looking for a lot of like as needed PRN, because you know, with the turnover with CNAs, sometimes it's hard to keep them. Right now, I would just have to ask her. We just did a little bit of hiring, so right now we're sitting okay, but we're always looking for PRN staff, and with the turnover, I hope not to have it, but you know, in this industry, sometimes we lose our staff. So I can definitely speak with Danny, our director of nursing, and I can get back with a number of what we're looking for and with what shift. But I know we're definitely looking for some like PRN staff right now.
Great. And what does PRN stand for? Sorry.
Like as needed.
Okay.
But I can get back with like the full and part-time positions that are open. I can speak with her today, and I can shoot out an email after I speak with her today.
Great. And yeah, and if you've got folks that are in training right now that could benefit from this program, we could get them enrolled. So even if they're, you know, partway through their training, we can still get them, you know, connected with the folks at Maximus. We can still get them enrolled in WisCaregivers so that you guys can get the training reimbursement for those folks. Anybody who's running through your emergency nurse aid training program right now you can get the reimbursement for.
Yeah, because I think we have 2 at the moment that we have in the temporary CNA training program that we're assisting with that right now.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so we would, I mean, that could be, those 2 folks could be the first reverse referrals over to Alex and her team.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So if you just take their name and info and send it over to Alex, then she can, you know, do her work on her end. Jenny, do you guys feel comfortable asking your new hires and incumbent workers if they're enrolled in food share already? I know that can be kind of a touchy subject.
No, I don't mind seeing that.
Okay,
No.
okay.
And
Um,
I don't know if anybody's a lawyer on here, but I mean, is that legal? I mean, are we able to do that? Is there any problem with us doing that?
I know there's some paperwork that they have to fill out if they're hired that asks those questions, but I mean, I've never asked them directly, but we do have a form that asks those questions if they are on certain, programs that I've seen, because I just recently filled out paperwork. So I don't know if that's something if they're offered, or do we have to ask them that prior to being hired?
well, I know Alex had said it makes it easier on her end if she can just like look them up in her computer.
Oh,
I know from up north in our original pilot site, I know sometimes people can be a little bit like, they might a little hesitant to jump in with like FSET and food sharing stuff. And so how we were pitching it to the applicants there is, we want to connect you with this person, Shua, who can screen you for eligibility for additional support services, like the scrubs and the transportation assistance. They kind of just like list out the things that FSET can help with, and then say, and here's your contact person for this. Why don't you go ahead and reach out with her so that they can move forward with you being able to get these additional supports that otherwise are not available, type of thing. So so like if you feel at all uncomfortable like having that sort of conversation, you can always just say like, we're participating in this WisCaregivers program. We've got this whole team of people who's here to support us, and to get the ball rolling with them, you just give them a call and they'll help you from there, kind of thing. So yeah, but if you've already got the info on whether or not they're participants, then that makes everything so much easier.
So another option, just kind of thinking of what John said, to make it a more comfortable opportunity for those individuals, we can provide something to St. Anne's where it's not a digital form, but it's a brochure with contact information for Maximus in the FSET program, so that this way that individual can directly reach out versus having a middle person doing that. So I don't know what your feelers are on that, where if the individual is interested or would like further information, then they can contact so-and-so. This is the contact information. And this way, Jenny is kind of pulled out of the situation of just pulled out of that situation.
I mean, I think that makes sense as an approach, and I mean, could even be beneficial to utilize as an approach relative to the other FSET agencies that we're working with as a company in this program. Mitzi or Jenny, I don't know if you have particular thoughts about whether or not that presents any complications on our end. Obviously we'd have to make sure the programs, the brochures were available for us to hand out and stuff. But I think just generally, I mean, that sort of takes a little bit of the onus off of the facility to, ask somewhat of an potentially uncomfortable question. And I mean, then is there a question of, I don't know, protected elements? Why are we asking that particular person? Or, I mean, I just want to be careful that we're not opening ourselves up to any form of discrimination or any type of HR problem relative to any questions that we ask, and that we're on solid legal footing relative to our practices. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, and in thinking about it too, I think a process that could work is Jenny gets a new hire, Jenny emails me the enrollment form, CC, and includes Alex on the email, okay? And including in that enrollment email, send the name, email, and phone number. And then Alex reaches out to the individual or your team, you know, whoever actually does the eligibility screenings, calls that person to do the eligibility screening. And the person just knows, we tell the person upon hire, or Jenny would tell the person upon hire, you're going to be part of this WisCaregivers program. It means you get free training, free certification testing, and the $500 retention bonus. As part of this program, we're partnering with Maximus, where they provide additional supports to people who are eligible. And an individual from Maximus will be reaching out to you to see if you're eligible. And just leave it at that. And then the conversation is just between Maximus and the individual, and the employer is totally out of the picture. You know, whether or not they qualify for FSET or whatever is just between that person and FSET, and the employer's out of it. Does that maybe sound like a good process?
That would work on the FSET side. So if that's a better process for you, Jenny, we can go ahead and implement that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so I'll just make a note of that. Okay, upon hire, Jenny sends email to Kate and Alex with the enrollment form. Jenny, do you have the enrollment form for WisCaregivers? I think John had sent it out.
I would, yeah, I can check through my emails. I didn't see it, but if you can resend it, that would be great. I was just with my email this afternoon.
I'll put that on my follow-up list too. So with enrollment form, send form to Jenny. Okay, and then in email, give contact info. And then Alex's team will follow up with enrollment screening eligibility with that person. I think that's pretty much how it's been working up in Oconto. Okay, great. So that'll be the screening or the enrollment / reverse referral process. And then when it comes to Maximus referring people, that screening has already been done. So that whole issue is not an issue when it comes to referrals coming from Maximus to Champion. Okay, great. And so as a next step from this meeting, Jenny, you'll follow up as to who's in training right now and the reverse referral process.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, great. And I will follow up with you, giving you the enrollment form, and we'll see if maybe we can get those two folks rocking and rolling in the program.
Okay, great.
Okay, so and then you'll also follow up with us, Jenny, in terms of like how many people you might be wanting to hire within the next couple of weeks.
Yes, yeah, I will.
Okay, great. Yeah, because like Mark mentioned, they've got a lot of interest on their caseload right now in terms of CNAs. And yeah, if we could get them through the program, and even if they wanted to work at your facility on those like sometimes shifts, would you still be willing to put them through training?
Yeah, we would.
Okay, great.
Kate, can I just ask a question here of Jenny? Do we know that St. Anne is signed up for the emergency aid training program?
Yeah, I signed them up I signed them up a couple months ago. Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Just wanted to confirm that.
Yeah, I saw you guys on the list from DHS, so I was like, okay, good. They've got they're rocking and rolling with emergency nurse aid. And one thing, Mark, that you had mentioned in our meeting last week was you had said that there were some folks that had done some amount of CNA training and not able to complete their clinical hours due to the lockdown. And so one thing that I thought would be worth kind of investigating, or at least talking about in this meeting, was might it be possible to get those folks who have completed that training and are waiting for their, to finish the clinical, get them interested in St. Anne's, because they've already done so much training, then Jenny, you at St. Anne's would just have to verify their skills and then complete the clinical hours. And therefore you could train somebody in a much shorter period of time than otherwise you would.
Yeah, I can probably pull those people out. They're coming from 1 or 2 vendors out of them. So it'll be easy to get the waiting, if there's still a waiting list, and I believe there's still, it's gonna be from Judge Johnson. We should be able to pull those people out and see if they would be interested. Yeah, that's doable.
Jenny, on your end, would you be interested, would that work like with your processes and your workflows and stuff when it comes to training? Would it work for you guys to bring in somebody who has, I mean, what are the contact hours required now? Is it 16 contact hours or clinical hours? I can't remember what the number is, but they'd be coming into your program with the majority of the training already completed. Would that be okay on your end? Or would you want to start them from scratch?
No, I think that would work if they already are started in the process. That'd be fine.
Okay, great. Yeah, so that's another thing. I'll put that on my list of, can we try to reconnect with those folks that who have done the training so far, like started and not completed it. Reconnect with.
Jenny, I have a question, just a follow-up question to that. So we do have persons who may be qualified to complete their CNH or get their clinical hours through your company. Is that an open period, or is that done at set times, or how, when are you willing to accept participants?
I think we would just have to make sure that, we don't put them all on one shift. So depending on what they're looking for, like if it's second or, we would just have to look at our schedule and see where we could put them in and what shift they're looking for. But I don't have any set hours, like we only train at certain times. So we have 3 different shifts, and I can also share those hours with you when I send you the follow-up email on our availability. So it would just depend on what shift they work or what they're able to work.
Jenny, can I add something? I just want to say that we do have travel positions. And so if we get a number of applicants that are looking for shifts that are not available at St. Anne's, certainly we can hire them and train them at St. Anne's, and then they can travel to Kenosha or even the Burlington area. So the number of applicants can be unlimited.
Great. So, and then Mitzi, do you want those travelers to go through Jenny's process, or do you want them to go through a different process?
Where I would take them wherever they came, and then when we interviewed, and let's just say somebody wants first shift and we don't have that available, we can certainly review the traveling position with that applicant.
Okay, so they'll just go through, we'll do it the same way where Alex would send the name, email, and phone number of the interested individual to Jenny. And then Jenny will move forward with the hiring process like that?
Perfect.
Okay. Do you have a number? It's just like an unlimited number for the travelers?
Yeah, we have several positions, not only in the Kenosha, Milwaukee, but we do have like current staff that travel north. So we have 11 facilities. The ones that are further north, we tend to need more travelers. So we certainly can use anybody who's willing to travel.
I'll have an easier time knowing.
Okay, so maybe then Alex, one of the questions that we could include is, are you interested in a traveling position?
Agreed. That way it's right there available for Mitzi and Jenny. So that they see that, yes, this person doesn't have a problem with traveling, or they're unable to due to transportation barriers. So yeah, that'll work.
Great. So then when you send people over, it'll be name, email, phone, and interested in travel, yes or no?
Yep, sounds good.
Great. Oh, that's great. And At the last FSET conversation we had, they said that they were part of a program, I can't remember what it was called, but program where they would help purchase or repair a vehicle. Is that something you guys are involved in at all?
For the FSET program,
I think
Yeah.
so.
if it's related to employment, within reason, we have to look at, the costs and documentations and things. That's definitely a supportive service we can offer if it's directly related to their employment position.
Okay, so if somebody was wanting to do a traveling job, then that might be a form of support that they could inquire at least about?
Correct. If it was, the employer said we can hire you if you had a vehicle to travel or do this or that, explicitly said that, then we can provide the support to assist that person with getting vehicle repairs or what may be needed to retain employment.
Okay, great. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Am I forgetting anything? This seems like it's all too easy. Like, aren't we supposed to get confused and have to figure out all sorts of stuff when we're on this call?
Right.
So I do have a, oops, go ahead, John.
So yeah, I was just going to say, and this is maybe adding an added level of internal complication relative to champion care. And so maybe this is something that we should talk about at another time, and I'll leave that to Mitzi and Jenny. But one of the things that was mentioned was that there is some staffing agency in the building. If there is an opportunity to supplant staffing agency services relative to CNAs and replace any staffing agency CNAs with native applicants, and not necessarily, people we have to hire through the staffing agency that cost, like 200% of the cost, and have internal applicants fill those positions. I don't know if there are opportunities to supplant some of those those CNAs, and whether or not that's an appropriate conversation to have at some point relative to those positions. Jenny, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
No, I think you covered that.
Okay, sounds good.
And then Alex, did you want to chime in?
Yes, so just a question in regards to the participants who only completed the theory portion of CNA training. Is there a certain amount of time that, like a window that allows them to transition over to clinicals after the theory, or what is the time frame?
Oh.
So for example, if someone was in CNA training in August, they completed the theory portion, but they weren't unable to obviously get the clinical. Would they have to start from square one, or would we be able to transition them into the clinical portion of the training with them being out of that type of setting, if that makes sense?
I would have to speak, with one of our regionals, or Mitzi. Are they able to provide documentation that they completed the 16 hours with whatever company they had worked at prior?
I'm sorry, I think I missed some of the question. You're breaking up.
Okay. They were asking if somebody completed, like, say 16 hours, but they still haven't completed the actual clinical hours needed. Would we want them to start over, or would they be able to bring
Not
in the document?
necessarily. Is there a class outline at least that they could bring with them, or that we can have for anybody who completes that course, and then we can put that in their file and just say that that's the course that they completed.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the education we give in the facility for the emergency course, we attest to the knowledge and the education we provide. So if we were to get that printout for applicants to put in that, we certainly attest that we got the information, and to the best of our knowledge that they have gotten it.
Yeah, in my dealings with the state on the emergency nurse aid training program, the main thing that they kept hammering home to me is that as long as you can document that this person has received the 16 hours of training required before they have interaction with the patients, then that's what satisfies the requirement before they can start the like on the job training. So as long as that 16 hours is well documented, and then yeah, as long as they can, I think when working with those folks, Alex and Mark from your caseload who started and didn't get all the way through the training, the main thing is going to be like getting some sort of documentation, like an enrollment record, a syllabus, something that shows what they've learned so far, so that then the trainers at St. Anne's know what's been covered, and they can pick up where they left off, kind of thing.
Okay, that's good to know. So they would, a lot of them receive certification of completion for the theory
Oh, good.
portion. So we can provide that, they can provide it. If they don't have it, we can definitely reach out to the vendor, which they completed that portion with, to get that information so they can move forward with the next step of training. So.
Great. And that works for you, Jenny, on your end?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, so I'll make a note of that. So send documentation about course completion. Okay. And yeah, and Jenny, if upon talking with the DON or whoever's coordinating the training on your end, if they need other info or if they want to talk directly with Mark or Alex or anybody on the team, we just want to make this work for you guys and make it easy on you as much as we can to support you and your needs, for caregiving staff. So, we want to try to make it easy on you guys. So just let us know how we might be able to help you.
Okay, I will do.
Yeah, and if there's anything that, this is a pilot, like we mentioned, we're expanding the pilot. And so, there are going to be little hiccups here and there, and we're just trying to learn as we go along. And, so just whatever, good, bad, or ugly, anybody, participating, just let me know if there's anything we can do different or better. And I that's my main goal, is to help everybody just succeed in this and get what you need out of the program. Okay, so it's 2:50. Does anybody have any more questions or anything we want to cover before the end?
I don't think so on my end, Kate. I really appreciate, the Maximus folks and all of your assistance relative to this process. And obviously we appreciate your assistance with all of this, Kate. I think it has, an opportunity to be a great partnership. And, if there's anything that I can do on the Champion Care side to help facilitate anything, certainly let us know. And Jenny will certainly be in touch with relative to the action items that we talked about. And just thanks everybody for being on the call this afternoon.
Great. Well, does anybody have any further questions? If not, then I think we just got 9 more minutes left or added back to our days.
Sounds great.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.